Ms. Barra, after months of negotiation, Senator Schumer, McCaskill, and I thank you for your support of the Rachel and Jacqueline Houck Rental Car Safety Act. I ask unanimous consent to put GM's letter into the record, and I will work with you to convince the other automakers to follow that lead. Is it all right that we put that in the record?
Without objection, it will go in the record.
Thank you. A month ago, Bloomberg Businessweek published an article entitled GM Recalls, How GM Silenced a Whistleblower. Have you seen that article?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I ask unanimous consent to place it in the record.
Without objection?
Cortland Kelly, a third-generation loyal GM employee and inspector since 1983, sought to protect both GM and the public by bringing safety concerns to light. Instead of praise and gratitude, his concerns were met with retribution and inaction by GM. Mr. Kelly approached his supervisor and then his supervisor's supervisor because he couldn't get any help. He approached them about safety defects he noticed that weren't even part of his line. He even sued GM just to get them to notice. His warnings were ignored. His case was dismissed. To silence him, he was transferred to a job with no job responsibilities. He calls it a GM version of purgatory. On page 93 of the Valukas report, Court Kelly's successor is quoted telling investigators he was too afraid to raise safety concerns with the Cobalt after seeing Court, quote, pushed out of the job for doing just that. Even last year, just last year, a 2013 survey of GM employees showed that employees are reluctant to report misconduct they observed, some feeling retaliation. Now, this is terrible. People died because of this. So I'm asking you, Ms. Barra, have you met with all the employees? Have you been in a room with all the employees? Have you told them that you value honesty, integrity, and whistleblowing, and how they'll be protected by the company?
Senator Boxer, I absolutely have. On June 5th, I had a employee meeting, and that thousands were live in the room as I talked to them and shared the results of the Valukas report, which I personally found very disturbing and troubling. Even before, and that also was broadcast globally, reaching all employees had the opportunity. Good. We have since, I have communicated through many other forums, written our
Good.
Our
I'll stop you here and say congratulations. And could you send this committee, please, your speech and also part of the policy of the company? I'm sure you have all these rules and policies. We have them in our offices. Would you send that to us?
Absolutely.
Because I think that's really important.
Sure.
Now, I'm going to pick up on where Senator Ayotte was going with this article in the New York Times. I ask unanimous consent to place it in the record, if I might. Documents show GM kept silent on fatal crashes. I think this is extremely disturbing because, as Senator Ayotte pointed out, these inquiries were called death inquiries, And what you're saying, Mr. Milken, even the one that was issued under your watch, you never saw it. Is that correct?
That is correct, Senator.
You never saw the death inquiry from NHTSA, who regulates the auto industry and safety. You never saw it.
That is correct.
So who was the top person who saw that?
Pardon me?
Who was the top person in your department who saw that inquiry?
I do not know who the top person was who saw that, Senator.
Mr. Valukas, did you ask about this issue in your report?
No, I did not ask about that. We did not ask about that issue.
Thank you. You should have. I consider it a cover-up when a manufacturer does not respond fully and accurately to NHTSA about what it knows about deaths in its vehicles. This wasn't some casual memo, and I agree we should ask NHTSA back, of course. But NHTSA did its job in sending an initial inquiry. And I am shocked and stunned that at least on one occasion, did it even go to your shop, this inquiry? Where do these inquiries go to? The NHTSA inquiries, death inquiries, where do they go?
Senator, when I saw the article yesterday, it was all news to me. We have caused a review to be done so that the information can be learned and brought forward.
So you don't know where the inquiry went. You don't even know who answered it.
Well, it goes to that department in engineering.
What department?
I think it's called, I don't know the name of it. It is an organization. Product Investigations. Thank you, Mary.
And that is not, you don't supervise them.
I do not.
So, Ms. Barra, who answered, who wrote all those answers there?
My understanding is that those would have been done by an organization that's part of the engineering function, and that's called Product Investigations. But Senator Boxer, what I can tell you is now that would not happen.
Okay, wait, before you tell me that, and I'm not done yet looking at this. You just can't say now, and forget the past. Now, because people died. So you want to move on to the new GM, and God bless you, and you're doing a good job, but we are not going to stop. We have to find out what happened. So then it went to this office of, give me the name of the office.
Product Investigations.
Okay. And what we know from the New York Times, unless there's a reason to doubt their investigative reporting, is that the answers, one answer was GM opts not to respond. Swell answer. Boy, I wish I could talk that way to my constituents when they want to know how I'm going to vote. Then you had other answers. Well, we can't answer it because it's attorney-client privilege. In another case, a similar kind of answer. We haven't assessed the cause. And so because I believe it is a cover-up, and because in the new GM you are firing people, who have you looked at this issue, and who signed off on these non-answers, and have you fired them?
I believe I have.
Okay, can you give us the names of the people and how many people, just to me?
I would provide that later, please.
Yes, that's absolutely fine. So now, when an inquiry comes from NHTSA, which department is responsible for reviewing those NHTSA inquiries?
It would go to Jeff Boyer, who is our Vice President of Global Vehicle Safety, along with his team. I will tell you that there will be no answers as you cited. We are working very productively. We want to understand anytime there is a fatality or a serious injury or an injury, or even an issue that happened that didn't necessarily cause an injury, because that's even better that we can stop it. So that's how we're approaching it now.
You've given it to a vice president now. Is that what you said?
Yes, I did. Vice President.
And he will also inform you of these NHTSA inquiries, I trust?
I believe he will, because I will make sure of it, because he and I meet on a regular basis. He
Well,
calls me 24/7.
When you say, I believe he will, I would love to hear you say, it is his responsibility to take NHTSA death inquiries to me. Can you make that statement?
Senator Boxer, I will assure you, the moment I leave this, I will call Jeff
Thank
Boyer,
you.
and it will be his responsibility to bring those to me.
I'm grateful for that. Thank you.